Greetings, everybody out in Substack land. Welcome back. Today I have a Hakomi therapist from the United States, Renate Novak, and welcome to the Substack channel, Renate.
Thank you.
So nice to have
Uh,
you here today. And we're going to talk about
yeah,
Hakomi, right?
yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
Hmm.
So I like to sometimes inaugurate these little, I call them conversations or authentic dialogues with a little bit of a Tibetan bowl kind of a vibration, just to relax and attune ourselves. Original sound for musicians on. One more, maybe. So, Renata, you're originally from Germany, but you live in New Jersey.
Yes.
Yeah, wonderful USA. A
Mm-hmm.
wonderful country going through a little bit of turmoil at the current
Yes.
time. Yeah. And certainly for therapists and psychotherapists, it's sort of weird to say it, but when there's trouble in the world, if anything, it makes for even more clients, and we're all going through it, including the therapists and the healers and everybody else. A
Right.
kind of a real twisting, and but there's something going on in the world. And
Yeah.
just before we launch into what Hakomi is and maybe
Hmm.
about your practice, the way you practice it, um, do you have any kind of a perception or a perspective, I guess is the word, of the process that is unfolding, both not only from the physical, the obvious, but, wars and such, freedom of speech, but also
Yeah.
from the psychological or even spiritual dimension?
Yeah. It seems to me that all the unprocessed material in humanity is being brought up
Hmm.
into the conscious instead of living subterranean. It's now all out, and we're getting to see it and process it individually
Yes.
ourselves with our clients, and also it's out worldwide.
Out for what?
Worldwide, it's
Worldwide, yeah,
out.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. It's almost like our karma, as they use that word in the East, or our baggage, maybe our issues that we haven't tended to or shone light on, or parts of our experience that we've avoided.
right.
Um, as you say, it's in our face, and that
Yes.
could be from the nation of, or the level of the individual person, as well as family units and communities, but also the nation. I was just watching a little clip of Marianne Williamson this
Williamson.
morning. Yeah, she speaks very well sometimes about these kinds of issues, and she was saying something that fits very much into one of my beliefs, that each nation, as well as an individual, has a soul as well as a personality,
Mm-hmm.
and that she said that just as individual humans, at times in our life's journey, we need to get down on our knees and atone,
Yeah,
atone for what we've done and or not done that we should have done, and that nations have to do that too sometimes. And she suggests that America right now is at a point of necessity for atonement as part of the process of healing.
mm.
But
Mm.
yeah, but I totally agree with you. It's like, oof, the forces of nature, the galaxy,
Mm.
um, our purpose is all coming together, and it's bringing up, whether we want to see it or not. But we're going to have to deal with it, I mean, in order to
Yeah,
move ahead and continue evolution, right?
yeah, and before we even can attune, I I don't know if anyone realized how much hate
Hmm.
actually exists and is being fostered through social media. And I just acutely aware that people are easily enrolled into hating, you know,
Yes.
And that hate needs, where does it come from? And
Hmm.
how can it get captured that easy? We're really in a civil war of hate,
Yes.
I would say.
It's surprising sometimes, as you say, things that were sort of sleeping. Um, Racism, for example, is one example. Whereas before, we got to a point where, in polite circles, people who had racist feelings, and maybe we all do to some extent, to be honest, um, like the fish in the water, right? Uh, but they'd sort of keep it on the low down, right? Unless they were with others who believed the same thing. But now
Yeah,
it's like there's carta blanca, green light, just to spew out whatever ignorance, hatred,
mm-hmm.
blaming somebody else,
Right.
and it's so easy to do. And again, as you say, it's so easy to be sucked into that.
Yeah,
So, and the question is, where does that come from? You
yeah,
know, as therapists, we work with belief systems, psychological
right.
belief systems. These ideas that people have about the way the world is and who am I in this world. They often come from very early years, even the womb, or even
Right.
transgenerational trauma. And then, based on a few experiences, we start to build on that perception of the way life is. So I wonder if we all have seeds of
Mm.
hatred or the potential for hatred that, if given the right circumstances, or the
Mm.
wrong circumstances, depending how you
Yeah,
define
yeah,
it, it can be inflamed or made big.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Lit up
Yeah.
and then projected onto whatever, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The first bullseye or target that we. So, leaping back now into the subject of our common training and the Hakomi method of somatic based and mindfulness based self study,
Mm.
or psychotherapy, as it's sometimes called, self inquiry. Um, Perhaps you could just share a bit about how you heard about it and what your training was like and how you're practicing it now as a therapist or teacher, even.
Yeah. I came to it. This is my third profession.
Oh,
I was a massage therapist for 20 years
ah, me too.
and administered about 10,000 sessions.
Wow.
And so I got to know human beings through their body.
Ah, all right.
And I knew even then that there were issues living in a person's body that I could relieve temporarily. But because they hadn't resolved those issues, it would just bring it back. And that was very frustrating to me as a massage therapist because I didn't want to just put patches on something.
Right, and have to
And
start all
then,
over again.
yeah, and then I ran a massage school for 18 years. It was an institute, and we hosted Hakomi training there, and that's
Mm.
how I got to it.
Ah,
But there too, I got to study people close up. I was a teacher, worked with the students. I taught them how to work on bodies. And so my background in terms of body, bottom up
yeah.
body storage, and the body keeps the score, was definitely validated, you
Yes,
know.
yes.
And so then we hosted the Hakomi training at our school,
Hmm.
and I decided to take it, because, and I instantly fell in love with it, like totally. And I knew it was just the right thing to put onto my previous experience. And it comes in really handy that I had all that experience as a
Hmm.
body worker. And
Hmm.
yeah,
It's a wonderful background to have. 10,000 sessions with clients,
yeah,
uh, working with their bodies and all the different, and certainly if a massage therapist is curious, um, is bound to discover that there are correlations between, as they get to know their patients or their clients, correlation between that person's lifestyle and the way they think and their emotions and their personality and the particular ailments they have in their physical body.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And posture too,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Is created through our very early
Yeah.
experiences
Yeah.
and set in place.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Body language, when they're
Yeah.
talking, the way they use their body to express themselves, ourselves, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they say that 80% of perceptual intake is um, nonverbal.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
even
Yeah.
though even though somebody's telling us a story, we take in the content, of course. Sometimes, if our mind is not wandering too much.
Uh-huh.
But what we really take in on a visceral level, an instinctive level, is the tone of voice, which is the body,
Mm-hmm.
and the movement, and the the tilt of the head, and the raise of the eyebrow, and the
Hmm.
structure, as you say, and posture in the soma of the body. So Hakomi, how did Hakomi then bring all that together for you?
Well, as you know, Hakomi training is very experiential, right?
Absolutely.
And so, well, it's the steps that you go through when you are with someone and really listening to what's behind and where they're speaking from. Is there an emotion that's present, or are they very flat in their expression?
Hmm.
And then we contact that,
Hmm.
and as a Hakomi therapist, sounds like you're a little sad, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we make a guess.
And
We make a guess,
yeah,
a hunch, which is not
right.
necessarily the gospel truth, but we present it in such a gentle way that the client can confirm it or deny it, and then it goes on to the next step.
Yeah.
Huh?
And if you experience, like I'm sure you are, you can see it arise before they even sometimes aware of
Yes.
it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Very often
And
it's unconscious.
yeah,
Hmm.
so Hakomi, I found, is a really fast, surprisingly quick access into
Yes.
someone's sacred
Yes.
way of being,
Yes.
really,
Right.
that I'm still awed by it,
Hmm.
how quickly we become close with that person that we're working with.
Yes.
And so once Hakumi just lets you see what's on the inside that I felt from the structure as a massage therapist from the outside.
Yes.
And um, yeah, when somebody talks about a parent and their shoulder goes up,
Hmm.
right? And that already is like fixed in there and it goes up a little higher maybe, right? So that posture relates to the wounding or the defenses they had to build up. And a lot of the defenses are muscular in our
Yeah,
body.
very much so.
Yeah.
I remember right around the time I was studying Hakomi when it came to Toronto. This would have been 1981, 1980, 81, 82. I was working as a massage therapist.
Huh.
I had just come back from Paraguay, where I lived for 5 years, and I had a client, a woman who was middle-aged, and she had in her back two lumps, quite
Oh,
noticeable.
yeah.
And so each week she would come for a session and explore massaging, and she was open to understanding where this tremendous tension came from. And to make a long story short, she would ask me to go deeper and deeper, and
Oh,
sometimes she'd be
yeah.
expressing, which is good, but she identified, or we identified together, that one of the lumps was related to her father and all the stuff that was unresolved with her relationship with her father, and the other one with her mother. It was
Wow.
very convenient and a perfect example of how the body brings those issues, and beliefs and so on, right into the physical soma. And she was really open and to work with this. And so I was just beginning to learn a bit of Hakomi. I thought, I think
Mm.
this is all coming together. Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
right.
Yeah.
So when did you become a Hakomi therapist then?
Yeah, I started studying in 2005. So
Okay.
I've been practicing 17, 18 years
Oh, wow,
now.
that's quite a while. Yeah.
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 Uh-huh. And I call myself a personal growth facilitator
Right. Yeah.
because it allows me a bigger envelope
Yeah.
to bring my life
This is
other experience,
right. Right.
other
Yeah. Yeah.
things to it.
Yeah. I find the term psychotherapy is okay, and that's some what exactly what some people are looking for, but it sort of seems to restrict a little bit or sound too clinical or something like that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And yeah,
Personal, what is it? Personal
growth
growth
growth facilitator.
facilitator.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. And what would you say are some of the common dynamics or archetypes, even issues that your clients are struggling with? The ones that come to you, at least, and are looking for some help.
Yeah, I like to work with people that are already willing to self-reflect,
Right.
you know,
Hmm.
um, where I don't have to start, in kindergarten with someone.
Yeah.
Someone already has some way and they just want to look at some areas. And often these days, it is about trauma resolutions or working or looking at how that is affecting them today, anxiety,
Yes.
uh, always being in fight or flight,
Yes.
anger, that they
Hmm.
don't like. They don't like losing themselves into anger, but they don't know where it comes from or how they can even regulate their system.
Yes. Yeah. Hmm.
And codependence a lot, people overextending and enabling other people
Uh-huh.
is another one that shows up frequently.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If somebody has, it knows how to be mindful, which
Yes.
is not that hard, but some people have difficulty with it. But perhaps somebody that's already practiced some meditation or mindfulness practice and has an idea, a sense maybe of what they are looking for, what they want to resolve, and maybe they have even a vague sense of where it's coming from. Then it makes it easier for you as the facilitator, right, to jump in and proceed.
Yeah. I mean, my challenge is often they used to talk therapy,
Hmm.
and so my challenge is to really open up the space where we're
Yeah.
going to slow down.
All right.
We're going to consult your body and what your
Uh huh.
body is saying
Yes.
and what your emotions might be saying. So
Right.
I might slow you down
Right.
quite a bit
Yeah.
to make room for all of this, right?
Okay.
And, when I can do that, then we can really,
Hmm.
process the whole organism that we
Right. 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 So
are.
I have an idea, just based on what you were saying. Here we are. We're having a more or less a left brain conversation, which is very
Yeah,
interesting. And the people out there in Substack land are also listening and taking in new information and maybe connecting the dots with approaches that they've already learned or studied. So perhaps you could just take us all with a very simple little Hakomi experiment in mindfulness to
yeah,
a slower, deeper level.
yeah.
Yeah?
So,
Great.
yeah, sure.
So, yeah, so I'll close my
Yeah,
eyes and just go along with
yeah.
it. And
You can close your eyes, you don't have to. Okay, I want to say to the audience, you don't have to,
all
you
right.
know.
Okay.
But see if you can just either close your eyes or really take a few easy breaths in and out and maybe feel at least one foot on the floor, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then for a moment, you could just notice what you're hearing in your space right now, auditory, so that the body knows it's here right now. And it slows down your mind a bit when we focus on just identifying and hearing sounds. Just a moment. And maybe taking another breath and getting as comfortable as you can in this moment. And then I like to invite you to just see if you can notice what your internal environment is like. In this moment, are you calm? Is there some activation? you know, irritated. Uh, just take stock, like you come into your body like you come into your house after vacation and you're checking it out, you know. So just noticing if anything is present here, even physical pain or discomfort, just to acknowledge it. Just who are you in this moment, not just, in your body. And see what you come up with. Take a little time. It takes sometimes a little time to enter the body and then actually to notice things. So, yeah, just spend a little time inquiring. Maybe what does your chest feel like? What does it feel like in your belly? Is it tight, relaxed? And spend a couple more moments. And then you could come back easily to the present and just see what you got, see what showed up for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was beautiful. And I was just thinking, I should interview more Hakomi therapists and get some free therapy through this Substack channel.
Yeah, we can take it to the next level.
Sure.
An issue you want to talk about, right?
Yeah, we could actually. Well, would you like me to just give you brief feedback about what I experienced?
Yes, please.
Everybody would have a different experience, different
Sure.
impressions, of course, but because
Yeah.
when we go into that noticing, witnessing, mindful
Right.
state of
Yeah.
mind, we can see physical sensations or images sometimes, or memories, emotions,
Right.
thought, thinking even. It's all good. So
Yeah.
what came up for me when you mentioned listen to the sound? Well, I've got these on, so it sort of
Yeah.
buffers me a bit, and it can be noisy. I live close to a busy street, but it was fairly quiet, which was nice. And I heard a truck off in the distance, but
Mm,
it was sort of like almost
mm,
like a murmuring, a gentle
mm,
murmuring sound,
mm,
pleasant.
mm.
And then when you were inviting us to go into the body, and I became aware of a part of myself that is generally these days excited and
Mm,
engaged and
mm,
creative and
mm.
doing stuff, meeting people, talking, and another part, more of a somatic part, perhaps deeper
Yeah.
part that's kind of exhausted. And
Oh,
um, so as I became aware of those two parts,
yeah.
so far apart, and I came up with a little bit of sadness. I think, oh, it's
Yeah.
sad that they're so far apart. It's hard for them to communicate.
Yeah.
So I was sort of longing to find a middle point or something like that.
Yeah. It sounds like excitement
Yeah,
and feeling alive.
yeah,
That's what I hear, really being alive and engaged in life.
yeah.
And that maybe the body has different needs,
Mm-hmm.
that the body might need a little more attention to resting.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that we often override the body. We
yeah,
do that so
yeah.
much
Oh,
in
yeah.
our culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And I've been, how in our reading and conversations, so that's been coming up more and more lately. Seeing it in other people and other people espousing this over the internet and so on about the need for quality rest, and
Mm.
caretaking, self-caretaking. Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you very much. That was really lovely the way you did that. I felt confident in you. I felt like
Oh,
I was in good hands, by your pace, the tone of your
mm.
voice, and the words that
Yeah.
you said. That was very good. Yeah.
Yeah. So that invokes a mindful state, right? When we
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what else would you like to say?
Yeah. I mean, this is just taking a look at yourself as you're right here, right now, right? Now, often clients bring an issue, right?
Right.
Like
Mhm.
difficulty relating to somebody or a job or whatever, right?
Yep.
And then, to invite them into their bodies and just see what happens in their body as they're talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, now, there's this brick on my chest, right? Oh, I feel so weighted down often, or I have
Mm-hmm.
this knot in my stomach,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I find most fascinating about, and really like in a way magic in Hakomi, is to invite them to bring their attention towards this sensation and actually hang out with it. And these sensations have a life of their own. The brick might not stay a brick if you bring your attention to it.
Mm.
Suddenly, tears come up, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
really, the brick is a brick of sadness that
Yeah.
they didn't know about, right?
Right, yeah.
And so then I have them stay with it if they can and if it's tolerable, and
Mm-hmm.
notice where that wants to go. And oh, suddenly it moves up in the throat and it becomes constricting and more tears, maybe,
Right, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
then it goes up in the head and
Yes,
then it kind of dissipates,
yes.
and I have them check back. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there is still a little heaviness, but nothing like the brick we started out with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, that's, I find most fascinating because emotions, energy and motion, if we make space for it and create room for these things that are stored in our body, under our attention, this can actually transform and dissipate. And it depends how much stored up, unprocessed emotions are in the reservoir, but sometimes it's you take a bucket full and it
Yeah.
depends, right? Yeah.
So, in your estimation, what brings about that lightening or letting go? Is it just being staying with it for a little while, or is it the meaning that comes from understanding where, let's say, it's a brick in the chest that somebody sort of experiences a lot of the time, and is it just a matter of getting in touch with the sadness and having permission to be sad, even cry, perhaps,
Mm-hmm.
or does it also need some understanding of what's the
Mm-hmm.
story that contributed to that sadness?
Right.
Yeah.
I would say at first, I would say that these stored emotions, feelings got stuck in the body because at some point, no one was really there for that person, like a
Mm-hmm.
parent,
Yeah.
that could help and be attuned
Right.
and, help this person process the momentary
Yeah.
difficulty.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so when we put our attention towards that, it's almost like these emotions have been waiting for
Mm.
this parent or
Right.
for this attention.
Yeah.
So it could be seen, it could be
Right.
validated,
Right.
and it then
Uh-huh.
can be understood. And often people do have memories. Oh, yeah, this is old. This
Right.
started.
So it's what sometimes we call in Hakomi the missing experience that
Yes.
that should have been there, ideally, as a
Yeah.
child, for example, but wasn't for
Right.
whatever reason. It could be safety or positive attention, as you're saying, or um, affection and
Yeah.
love,
Safety
connection.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So a big part of what a Hakomi therapist does then is to make it safe
That's right.
for the client to be able to go to those places, even revisit the child who was still hurting, the inner child,
Yeah.
and to be able to stay there a little bit longer in a place that is uncomfortable, but without the accompaniment, the loving, presence and accompaniment of the therapist. The person would just want to run away from that,
Yeah. Or suppresses right away.
yeah, or
Right.
close it down and make it
Yeah.
numb or paralyze it. Yeah. Uh huh. Right.
Yeah. And so you just named the loving unconditional presence,
Yes.
which is the ingredient,
Yes.
really.
Yes.
And, how can you be a spacious, non-judgmental
Hmm.
presence where immediately someone
Hmm.
can relax into?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for a therapist or a therapist in training or anybody really, a human being
Yeah.
in relationship, And for if someone knows that they are judgmental and that they don't like this, they don't like that, certain kinds of people,
Yeah.
how can they get to that point where they really are in loving presence and non-judgmental and compassionate and acceptance?
Well, I would say you have to do your own work
Yeah,
first,
right.
because you can't create anything for anyone that you can't haven't walked through
Mm.
or that you can't create for yourself. So if you're judgmental with yourself, if you're tight with yourself,
Yeah, yeah,
you're going to bring that to the session.
yeah, yeah.
And so, I have another idea about that, because I think that we're all reaching down and pulling up people like a chain, and that, even people that are judgmental might have something to offer
Of course, yeah.
to a certain client that isn't even close to what can happen in the Hakomi
Yes,
practice,
yes.
right? And so I don't want to discourage people
Right.
because they haven't
Well,
done their own work from trying to
yeah.
help
Well,
people.
nobody's
Yeah,
perfect, right? We
right.
all have lots of work to do still. It goes on.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good point. You don't want to discourage people. Um, but it's true that we mirror in all our relationships, actually. We mirror to other people and have it mirrored back, parts of ourselves. So,
yeah.
yeah. Well, hmm. It's such a lovely conversation. And I like to keep these fairly short so that people will be
Yeah,
more inclined to watch them.
sure.
I'm just wondering if there's maybe something. Well, you could. Did you meet Ron Kurtz? Maybe not, right?
No, I
No.
didn't.
Yeah,
But I met Greg, and
oh yeah,
Greg was really close with Ron.
Greg
And I
Johansson. Yeah.
so appreciate Greg's teaching in my training
Uh-huh. Yeah.
very much, because he brought a whole different
Yes.
um, way to it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. He was a wise man, and yeah. Well, Ron Kurtz. I was fortunate to meet him in 1989. But
Ah,
what he was an amazing individual, great sense of humor, and just unique in so many ways. And he gathered from all different fields, systems theory, Eastern philosophy, Taoism, and
mm,
Buddhism, the indigenous teachings, the science, anything you could think of. He was always scratching on the frontiers of knowledge.
mm, mm.
And he once said, "I grew up with my hands in the pockets of giants," meaning he stole or borrowed, and then he created his own synthesis, which was so unique and
Yeah,
beautiful. But he
yeah.
was he was so good at recognizing those what you were saying. That sometimes the therapist can just see what Ron
Mm,
called an indicator, something
mm,
in the body, maybe one shoulder a little bit higher than the other one, or a certain look or
mm.
tone of
Yeah,
voice, and almost before the person would even start talking, he could see the whole picture, but
yeah.
he was kind enough to go through the paces, and help the person to become aware of that
Mhm.
somatic indicator.
Right.
And so much of it is really based in the belief that the body registers the trauma, and the trauma lives in the body
Yeah,
and stays there until it's healed.
yeah. Right. And comes out and
Yes.
ambushes people,
Yeah.
because there's a trigger in the environment, and boom, the trauma remembers, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
It's so wonderful, in a way, if we're not afraid of our pain and discomfort and triggers and trauma and all that stuff, then they become friends or allies.
yeah,
So if we
yeah,
notice ourselves getting triggered, at one period of our life by a certain kind of interaction or whatever, say, oh, this is the universe or my inner guru teaching me to pay attention to this because it's time now to learn how to unfold this. So if we're seeing a wonderful Hakomi therapist, so much the better. But even if we're not, if we
yeah,
have a little bit of awareness, like you were saying, self-awareness, we can start to work on that issue because it's being presented to us.
yeah,
And and if we can have enough confidence in that principle that if we can engage with and comfort the inner child that may still be hurting
yeah,
or sad or angry or lost, and spend time with them and then bring the darkness up to the surface where it
Yeah,
can be dispelled,
yeah.
like the
I
mist.
mean,
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
yeah. What most people don't understand that the inner child still shows up,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
They think it's them, and they don't understand what happened. Nothing happened, and I'm crying for hours, right?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, to even
Right.
bring the understanding that who you are here in the present moment isn't all you are. There's a big backlog that
Mm.
also shows up right here, right? Yeah.
I remember years ago, I used to ride the subway a lot going to work, and I was going to write a book about riding on the subway. It was going to be called Subway Lover. But one of the tricks I did with myself, I was already studying Hakomi, was I would pretend that all of the people that were sitting in the subway car going home after work looking so tired and unhappy and
Mm,
uncomfortable,
mm.
I would see them all as children, little
Oh,
5-year-olds, 6-year-olds.
oh,
Oh, and my heart would just
oh,
open.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And then other times I would pretend or imagine that they were all kings and queens and royalty,
Oh,
and see
oh,
the nobility in each soul.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
we can do so much with our imagination.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I find that working with clients using Hakomi, which is a body-centered
Mm-hmm.
form of healing and self-study, that even before COVID, I started to see people on Zoom,
Right.
online, and that
Yeah.
the physical part, because we actually touch the body in different little experiments, it's all set up very
Mm-hmm.
safely and so on, with the permission of the client and so on. But that it can be done online very
Yeah.
effectively using the
Right.
imagination as to compensate
Yeah.
for the
Mm.
lack of the physical presence.
Yeah. Yeah. I find that too. It
Yeah,
surprised me
yeah.
how deep I can work with people on
It's
Zoom.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
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 So do you see
Mhm.
most of your patients or your clients online or in person?
Yeah. It goes somewhere between 50, 60% Zoom
Okay.
and 50%, 40% in my office.
Great. All right. So it
Yeah.
gives you some variety of experience
Yeah.
as a
Uh-huh.
facilitator, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Renate. It's been just a treat to meet you and to talk with you
Mm.
and to learn about your approach to this wonderful healing modality.
Thank you for
And
the opportunity. Thank you so much. I really love it.
my
Thank you.
pleasure, my pleasure.
Yeah.
And if people would like to reach out and maybe have a session with you, do you have a website that I could put underneath
Yeah,
it?
I do have a website. It's
Okay,
www.renatenovak.com. So
great. Hmm.
RenateNovak.com.
Okay. And yeah, you can send it to me too, and I won't
Okay.
post it immediately, and then I'll write a little description of the video, which will be up above, and down at the
Okay.
bottom of that, I'll put your link in there. So if
Okay.
people want to follow up, they can.
Great. Great.
Right.
Wonderful. You
Thanks a
I've
lot.
I've been listening to you for a while,
Oh
so
yes, you're a
yeah.
subscriber, I think, are you?
Yeah, I yeah, you show up.
Fantastic. Oh, I'm so happy. Yeah. Well, anytime you want to make a comment or,
Yeah.
throw in your 2 cents, I'm always happy
Yeah.
to, embody that kind of community spirit.
Great. Okay.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye for
Bye.
now. Dankeschön.
Bye. Bitteschön.
See you next time.